Nerdrotic.com.
It has been a great 72 hours on Twitter, probably the best 72 hours I've ever had on that platform. I didn't mind spending a bunch of time on it, just reading and laughing my ass off, which the memes have been great. The meltdown has been great. As the kids say, the copium has been, it's been great. Everything's been great. I've seen people out there saying we won. I wouldn't go that far. I'd say we're winning a battle. We're winning right now. We're winning. You know, I think you should also enjoy it. You out there have earned it. You're not insane. You weren't taking crazy pills. Shadow banning exists. And I know there's going to be, okay, listen, there is shadow banning in like Quarter Black Garrett's case. Very charming fellow associated with Crowder, gets demonetized, shadow banned. And then there's just not very good YouTubers. There's a difference, okay? There's a giant difference. So let's make that distinction right now. We're talking about the very good people who have been shadow banned, like at least talented. Like, you know, they're putting in effort, their content is good, and all of a sudden, like, it's just, you don't see it anymore.
You don't get shared. You literally find out that there are hidden options and settings for Facebook, you know, just to put that out there, that have you blocked, that say, do not share stuff from Steven Crowder. Don't share it from Tucker Carlson. This was an actual leak that came out of Facebook. So, like, shadow banning is a real thing. It was definitely a real thing on Twitter, because I was telling you guys earlier, I had a Twitter account that was unknown, basically. I joined Steven, and over time, I got more interactions, and then it started going down, and it got slowed, and then it just hit this plateau for a long time. Yesterday, the last 2 days, I've gained 2,000 followers. That's kind of crazy. I mean, the last 2 years, I mean, I've gained followers, but not at the rate of 2,000 in
like
2
this.
days. Like, that's crazy.
Ridiculous.
Maybe it's people coming back to the platform. Maybe it's the faucet getting turned back on.
Could be.
Who knows? But it's just strange.
Within
it's a little
the realm
weird.
of possibility. Yes. It could also be that they just turned the faucet off because they wanted to hide the faucet from fucking Daddy Elon.
When the plumber arrives to fix the issue, just turn everything back on quick.
What does Neon call him from Clownfish? Space Daddy? I like that. Yeah,
Space Daddy chill.
That's probably what it's. And the people are going, it's got nothing to do with it. It's not going to take over until October. Dude, he's already in there.
They're cleaning house, man. They're cleaning all the house. They're cleaning it out, man.
Definitely.
They're burning the files.
Well, they've definitely done something. I mean, the one thing they put a hold is, I worked at a tech company for a couple of years. I understand, you know, you go through these things called sprints. So you come up with like, what are the improvements you're going to make in the next version? And you're always updating, right? For some companies, it's more frequent. You know, you do a different version of your app. All of that is on hold. That's very interesting when Elon is like, you're not going to be messing with it, because they could put some things in there that could screw it up. But I gained 700 followers yesterday for no reason whatsoever. I post on Twitter maybe a couple times a week now. Mostly I just retweet and promote things that I'm involved in. But to have 700 in one day just out of the blue is completely unusual. Second thing is, one account you want to pay attention to. I know everybody talks about libs of TikTok. You have to look at Sarah Gonzalez. Do you follow her?
I was going to bring her up next.
Yes.
Sarah Gonzalez. She did a series of tweets. First of all, she went on a tear on Monday. But all the tweets were like things you formerly, like previously,
you could not say.
Could not say. And these are just sort of, to me, like basic common sense truths. I don't think she's saying anything radical, or she's not saying anything hateful. She's just saying truths. And she did like this whole bunch of them, and she got reported, but then nothing happened. Did you see? You should check her out. Yeah.
All of it.
It's
None
crazy.
of the reports came back, and she didn't get blocked for any of it. The winds are a-changing.
Dude, it was so good. She's like, being fat is not healthy.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Anthony Fauci is full of shit.
Only women can give birth. You know, it's so good.
Yeah.
It was, benign stuff that in normal society is okay to say, like ivermectin works, because it does.
Yeah.
It does what it's supposed to do.
I mean, YouTube, depending on the person, I guess, I've been able to get away with a lot of stuff. And it's been pretty good, because I know there is factions in YouTube that fight for us in Google, but there are factions who can't stand us. So I think there is throttling. We just talked about it during the election. All of YouTube got basically our sphere got shut down, absolutely shut down. During that time of the election, I gained like 2 subscribers over like a 2-month period. That's just never happened. It's I put out the same amount of work. It's not like I wasn't putting out stuff. And I thought, well, this might be it. That's it. It was a good ride. I was even talking about it then. Happy with what I got. I'll just roll with it.
I remember that. You were like, man, I don't know. I enjoyed what happened. Yeah,
it was fun. I'll just roll with this. And
it's an election year, so everything all of a sudden stops getting shared around.
Yeah, weird.
It's kind of funny how that works.
It's weird.
It'll be interesting to see what happens whenever Twitter does not have the power that it does for the next election. Every time you go to the Explore tab, it was a negative story about conservatives or whatever, or it was not showing stories that are massive things like the laptop. Not getting any play. Now, what's going to happen? Are they going to be any different?
I would actually prefer that the tabs, when you go to like search or see trends, I'd like to pick what trends interest me. I would like to be able to customize my experience. And there's one tab that has been there for years and I feel like we're done with, and that's the Koof tab, right?
Yeah.
The Koof tab, you cannot, it's always there. It's always there. And to me, to see the meltdown of that attorney, I'm not going to try and pronounce her name because
Vagina.
Yeah, it sounds like, but she broke down in tears, I guess, during some meeting.
Oh.
But she is the one who personally, and you saw that exchange on the Joe Rogan Experience, the show, back when it was on YouTube. It's Jack and her and Tim Pool. Was kind of the first guest. Yep. And like Tim called her out and called out Twitter, like, you are politically biased as a platform. You are biased. No. She is the one that is personally responsible for stories being suppressed. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I cannot wait for her to be gone. I mean, that'll be a win. And I hope that what Elon is doing with Twitter influences other platforms to maybe look at and he has completely the right philosophy, which is why I don't understand why people don't like Elon. I mean, I understand why people don't want their ability to bully and the power position that they're in, their fear of losing that power position. But when Elon says, look, I believe in free speech up until what was his tweet talking about? The law, exactly. And it's like the law is decided by the people. So if the people want to change the law with regard to free speech, well, then Twitter can adjust. But as long as it follows the law, that's exactly what it should follow. Who would argue with that, no matter where you are, what side of the political aisle you're on? You should be in favor of that.
Absolutely. And, you still have a block button. You still got the mute. I just would like to say that, you know what? There's something kind of funny about that election. That was weird. That was strange. I can't.
Maybe a couple questions are okay.
Maybe, suppressing just wanting to audit elections. I think everybody would want to audit an election. You could audit them to death, but let's give them a good, impartial audit. Let's keep a impartial chain of, I forgot what it's called. It's
custody?
Not chain of command. Chain of custody. Thank you. Chain of custody, which we did not have. These are things that everybody should be very concerned about because once we lose confidence in that system, and it's all based on confidence. That's all it's based on is us believing in it. Once we stop believing in it, it fails. And I mean the majority of us. And we're well on our way. They fucked around that much. They got away with that much. So yes, the shadow banning is fucking everywhere. It's here. It's Twitter. It's Facebook. And yeah, all the other big tech companies are a little nervous right now. Just like all the Hollywood streaming services are a little nervous because Netflix is failing. It's weird how all this is happening all at once. It's so strange. It's almost like there's consequences to things.
Almost.
You can kick them kick the can down the road, but you cannot avoid them forever. And yeah, I think this is kind of a reckoning a bit. Hopefully it doesn't wreck everything now. That's the problem. I'm
waiting for all of the leftists on Twitter to start going, they're shadow banning us. My tweets aren't getting reached. Whenever all they did for 6 years straight were nothing's happening. Nothing is happening right now. Well, nothing to see here. It's all in your head. All this stuff is in your head, and now all of a sudden, you saw. I hate to get more political than we already are getting, but Jen Psaki going up there saying we are really concerned about big tech companies and the power that they have over the American people. I was like, what the are you?
Now they're concerned.
You're
Now
concerned now.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and now they're talking about 230, and this is what I talked about.
Yeah.
Like I talked about, I was like, we don't want the government involved in any way, shape, or form in this. That's why I hated when Republicans talked about it. Now I hate it worse because I said eventually Democrats are going to talk about it, and you know who's going to shut everything fucking down on YouTube first? California. California will be the first to attack it. You know, you're there. Gavin Newsom, if he sees money, if he can make money off this, if he finds a way to tax it, if he finds a way to tax that people are getting paid off it, he's going to find a way to fucking shut it down. They tried to shut down Airbnb. They tried to shut down fucking Uber. Anything free market. They tried to shut it down until they became part of the system, which kind of was worse. But, you know, that's the way it is.
They absorbed it and owned it.
They absorbed it and owned it and go, okay, well, we'll be your Huckleberry. That's basically what they did. So, yeah, California will be the first to come in and fuck with everything. So that's not a good thing. And it was right after current President Obama made a speech saying that we need to break down, get rid of misinformation.
The tides are turning, though. That's the good. Take the white pill, like you said.
World's
Enjoy
greatest
it
speaker.
while it lasts. We'll see.
World's greatest speaker, as long as he's reading.
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.
If you like what I do here, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking and sharing the videos. It really does help. And if you did this with your favorite YouTuber as well, I'm sure they would appreciate it as much as I do.